Good evening and welcome to this special edition of CBC News Correspondent. I'm Simon Reeve in London and I'd like you to join me this week for a trip to Central Asia to meet the stands. It's one of the most obscure regions of the world, one we know very little about, but Central Asia is a region that matters. I believe it could be a future flashpoint for the war on terror. That's because it's afflicted by poverty, corruption and despotic regimes, and it has vast oil and gas reserves. So last year I travelled around Central Asia with a crew from the BBC. And tonight, in part 3 of Meet the Stands, we're off to Uzbekistan. Central Asia, once part of the Soviet Union. It's a region dominated by oil, Islam, and enough radioactive waste to terrify the West. China, Russia and America are all vying for power here. The countries are strategically vital. And they're all called Stan. Uzbekistan is the most repressive of the countries we visited. It is run like a feudal system by Islam Karimov, the president since independence. His permission for a US airbase in the country after September the 11th has made him a friend to the West, but at home he is widely feared. We brought Shahida, an Uzbek living in London, out with us so we had a guide who could speak openly about a president whose picture and diktats are everywhere, proclaiming democracy and rule of law for everyone.
I mean, all of them sound like a joke, to be honest, to me.
Why?
Because none of them is true. It's like an imaginary world, dream.
Uzbekistan's economy is in trouble, but one of the few growth industries is personal protection. Rich businessmen do not trust the police, and so turn to private security firms. These men are being trained as bodyguards for Uzbekistan's elite. They're controlled by this woman, a former KGB colonel who lost her job after independence when Russians were purged from state jobs.
I asked her why she left the KGB, and she said that in 1991, when Uzbekistan was established, they basically said to her, you don't speak national language, so basically we don't want you there.
What I find particularly amusing is the former colonel in KGB is wearing Winnie the Pooh socks.
The place the colonel comes to recruit is the Uzbek Wrestling School. Uzbekistan produces many champions of Greco-Roman wrestling.
The guy in blue, which is UZB, Bishop Kadiev, he's a champion of Asian Games on Greco-Roman fighting.
It's meant to be a great honour for these sportsmen to represent Uzbekistan, so they are paid a pittance and officially forbidden from taking other jobs.
There was a joke, actually. The guy who was 3-time champion of this Greco-Roman fighting, the first time he became a champion, what happened, he was when he just arrived to Tashkent with his gold medal, he was given keys from the car, but as soon as the cameras left, he was taken, this key was taken back from him. That's how they treat sports people here.
The colonel then took us to see some of her guards in action. We'd seen the bodyguards, now we wanted to see the sort of people they protect. So we're off to see the most powerful man in Uzbekistan now, who isn't, as you might think, the president of the country.
This is the guy in a blue shirt without the tie.
Salam alaikum. Can we say we're very sorry to keep him waiting? Gafur Rakimov is one of the most controversial men in the country. Although he's a successful businessman with interests ranging from cotton to soft drinks, He's been dogged by rumours of involvement in organised crime. But no one has produced any evidence to prove this.
Thank you. Please come in.
Wow.
Isn't this beautiful?
It's beautiful. It's incredible.
It turns out we weren't the only Brits who have visited the mansion. Mr. Akimov is a keen patron of sports and sponsors the annual Tashkent Tennis Open.
Yeah, he's winner.
It's a rare occasion when Tim Henman won the competition then.
Странно, что Тим выиграл какое-то соревнование.
After a lengthy feast, Mr. Akimov's entourage showed us a copy of the Australian newspaper from the time he was refused entry into the country. They were keen to show us that their boss was framed and was innocent of all charges.
This document, which they say is forged, reportedly involved in the distribution of counterfeit US dollars in Poland. Also a possibly significant connection with major cocaine smuggling operations. But it's completely untrue.
Yeah.
But this document, this false document, has it caused you problems for your business? Has it caused you personally?
Yeah.
No, but I would like to ask.
Этот документ создал вам проблемы в вашем бизнесе и в вашей жизни.
бизнесе, в жизни.
Yeah, in the business, in the life. Of course, a lot of problems.
Mr. Akimov then decided not to talk to us anymore, worried that being filmed in such opulent surroundings might give people the wrong idea. We left with promises to attend the annual Orphans concert that he sponsors. The problem with repressive regimes is that much of the repression goes on behind closed doors. And on the surface, Tashkent, the capital, appeared a relaxed modern city. But there are clues to the country's darker side everywhere. The president is promoting a new national hero, Amir Timur, the Uzbek version of Genghis Khan.
Before the collapse of the Soviet Union, this square used to be known as Karl Marx Square. And there was a big statue of Karl Marx, actually only his head. And then his head was deleted from the square, and we got the new hero, Amir Timur. He was known as a very cruel person. And putting his statue in the middle of Tashkent and claiming he's a national hero just makes some people a little bit concerned about what will happen in this country, and how are we choosing this guy as our leader, as our hero, where he was so brutal and killed so many people. This is the main street where young people hang around. We call it Broadway. It used to be Karl Marx Street before, but now it's like only Broadway. It's a place where artistic people meet.
Can you ask him if life is better now or is it better under the Soviet Union?
He doesn't know how to answer. He thinks that at the moment it's better.
Dipsy may be happy here, but a mixture of repression and a struggling economy means few others share that optimism.
One of the major problems in Uzbekistan is that everybody wants to get out of the country. They're desperate to leave. And this is quite different to the situation we've found in most of the other Central Asian republics. So we've come here to a marriage agency, a dating agency, which sets up girls here with wealthy Westerners to find out why these people want to get out. Hi. Hiya. How many girls do you have on your books at the agency?
Wow, a lot. 3 big books, a lot of big books.
What are the girls looking for?
They're looking for a good life because they couldn't find the good life here in our country.
Well, I'm just quite interested to know how they view the West and who they're hoping to meet.
I hope to meet a nice person abroad and make my future there, because here there is no future. I really doubt that my daughter will find a job when she graduates from medical school. I don't like the way of life here. Everything is so backward. I lived abroad for 2 years and I can't compare.
Oh, there's Ecuador, Belgium, United Kingdom, USA, Mexico. And what do the guys tend to be like?
Oh, very emotional people, very sensitive, to my mind. and very funny and with a great sense of humor. This is our lady, Natasha.
She looks a lot younger than him.
Yeah.
Well, they look very happy.
Yeah.
And he looks particularly happy.